All right, welcome into the Bobby Carpenter Show, and a little different backdrop for me. Trying to get some light on my face. So I got a nice little office lamp that I'm like working to kind of get some light over here on myself. I'm just happy the internet's working and we're good because I'm down in Guantanamo Bay. We talked about this a little bit last week, down here supporting some of the troops, and unbelievable, awesome time with what we've been doing. Getting a chance to kind of give back. And I mean, there's people, Schlegs, that have been stationed down here for 3 years and they don't get a chance to get back a whole lot. And they've got kids down here. They go to school. There's about 5,000 to 6,000 military servicemen and women in Guantanamo Bay, and also a combination of that with military and then government contractors that are down here. And so they have a fully functioning school that's K through 6. And it was fun. We on Saturday.
What happens after 6th grade? What happens after 6th grade? You
just not K through 6. I mean K through 12. Like it's.
Oh no, okay.
Yeah.
They got sports. The kids play sports. Like, what do they got down there?
They have a field. You know, I mean, you have, who you playing? Like the Cuban national team. I mean,
when in Cuba, why not teach everybody football Americano?
Yeah, I'm with you, but it's a little interesting with that. But the kids loved it. We were able to have the full camp, and there weren't a ton of kids. And so I told them, like, I don't care. Like in Hawaii, we did this a couple of years ago. We had 350 kids. I go, you know what? If we only have 100 kids, or if we only have 10 kids, like I'm going to give you the same amount of juice. And so whether it's like a private instruction or a big deal, but they're so grateful for it. I had a meet and greet last night at the bowling alley, hung out with a bunch of the families again. And they're so grateful. And like, dude, they take care of us. Like we're paying for like cocktails at the bar, but outside of that, it's all taken care of. And so it's just a matter of donating time. So like being able to serve those who serve us. Yeah. It's a pretty, it's a pretty humbling experience. And going with my guy, Vernon Carey, Miami Hurricane, Miami Dolphin. He was on that 0-2 team that we beat. So we love talking about that. We did our trip last year together. Great dude. And his son plays basketball at Vanderbilt. So they had a big win on Saturday. So cool for that. So full disclosure, we're recording this show on Sunday just because of my schedule. So we'll talk preview, do a little bit of some of the best parts we like about the Super Bowl. Plus Lathan, the best time for him to do this, he's going to be able to sit down with him on Sunday. So a little bit quirky, but we'll dive into a lot of Super Bowl talk and a lot of action on that on Tuesday. And hopefully we'll still have Bill Bender on with that as well. But like, how's everything been? How was the weekend, leading in? I mean,
bro. Well, real quick, before I get there, how is the weight room?
Weight room's great, dude. I'll be honest. This morning, the first day we got there Friday night, didn't lift. Saturday was really a busy day, dude. We had camp in the morning, and then we went over to the lighthouse. And I mean, we'll have to maybe Pat, you can pull up some of my social media stuff on Twitter or Instagram or whatever, because I posted a decent amount of it. And then we had camp. And so you can see some of the kids out there, some of the camp stuff we were doing. But then I got a chance to go to the lighthouse. And so after practice, I warmed up. Vernon Carey and I go, dude, once your pee's hot and you're warm, I'm like, after that, I was like, hey, I'm going to go run a mile on the track and then bang out a couple 300s. And that's just going to be it for today. Like I can't waste me getting warmed up and on that turf and then not do anything with it. And so yesterday I just did some of that. Today I got up and went down. Weight room was awesome. They've got about 5 or 6 racks. They've got a bunch of machines, a bunch of cardio deck, and able to get after that free weights. I mean, there's folks in there, Schlegs, like dudes front squatting like 225 with bands. I mean, you got chicks in there doing like 14 pull-ups, like dead hang, 10-second pause in the middle. I was counting this girl, how many she was doing. It was ridiculous. Got a lot of ink, but it was fun, dude. I mean, it was like the skin kitchen came right to Guantanamo Bay, dude. So I thought there used to be a rule on tattoos, but man, we got all the sleeves, full leg sleeves. But it was great. And so I was in there this morning, got a nice little lift in. I had some elite brunch down here and then jogged back. And it was pretty good, man. But I was pouring sweat because these guys, they get after it at night a little bit. I mean, the nightlife here, there's like 1 or 2 bars, but when you're sitting on a bar, it doesn't matter whether you're in Guantanamo Bay or Grand Cayman, like you're looking out over the Caribbean Ocean and you got music playing and they've got all kinds of cornhole and like beer pong and all this stuff. And like, they just want to hang out and chat it up. And I was with, one of the dudes yesterday I was talking to, guy's information, going to talk to Marcus, big Notre Dame fan. So he's getting ready to retire after 25 years of naval service. Schlegs. He went in as a enlisted man while he was in here, got his college degree. Boom. Now he's a captain, running stuff on some of these ships. And he wasn't even supposed to be down here. They had to pull him off of another ship. But he's a huge Notre Dame fan. And so his retirement, he was trying to get his wife to get something for him from Notre Dame there. And I was like, well, you know what? I might know a guy. Like,
I know a guy.
Let me make a phone call. Give me your email, give me your phone number. Like, let me make some kind. Let me see if I can get you something like that. He was hoping to maybe snag an American flag schlegs that maybe has flown over the stadium there in South Bend. And I was like, we might be able to get that done. I'm like, for all the service, he's a southern, like southwestern Michigan guy. He goes, I grew up an hour from South Bend. So there's that. I ran into Chief Petty Officer Kavanaugh, who is a guy from upstate New York. His brother played for Urban at BG. He's like the biggest Buckeye fan in the world. We like outlined all of the games and everything that was going on. And he was super fired up to be down here talking to me, and just unbelievable dude. And so like you just meet
Buckeyes.
Yeah. And the met a dude from Texas, big Texas guy. Actually, the commander that was with the Seabees. I don't know if you know what the Seabees.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're
engineers.
The engineers. Boom. You know it. The construction arm. They're down here because obviously there's some things that are being built right now in a quick, fast, and in a hurry. And he's a Tennessee guy. So we started talking a little bit about all of the games and everything. And that's the beauty of getting down here. Like they're all just men and women from all parts of the country. All of them have just like football, all of them have their different paths of how they got here, their own unique story of whether they enlisted, whether one of the guys who I was talking to, he went to VMI and then to OCS, which is Officer Candidate School, right afterwards. And, whether they did ROTC, or then maybe like the gentleman I was talking to who just enlisted and then ultimately went to school and then went to OCS after that. And all of the different stories and where they're from and their upbringing, and were they military, were they not, and just getting into this. And it was pretty remarkable. And
that's
so
awesome.
to see, it's humbling. And then we have a couple of cheerleaders that are with us, and the lady who's running it all is a former cheerleader for the Ravens. We started talking to her, and and she brought up how she had a military ID, and she's done these tours forever. Like, this is my third tour. Vernon has done like 8 of them. He's been to like Djibouti and to Greece and to Syria, and places where you're wearing a flak jacket and a helmet the entirety of the time. Like, crazy town. So it's wild. But anyway, back to Ashley. She talked about how she had military ID. I was like, well, how'd you get that? She's like, well, actually, my husband, I was married before. He was in the military. His parents hated it. His name was Ari Weeks. And I was like, wait, is he Jewish? His name's Ari. And she laughed. She's like, no, his parents are like kind of, a little, they're a little, more, I don't even know. I'm trying to think, like a little, let's say eccentric, but just a little more broad arm, like big armed, loving it. Ari means lion in Hebrew. And so that was what they named him. They never wanted him to join. He joins, and he actually passed away. He was KIA in Iraq. And I'm like, it's kind of a big deal. Cause I'm like, dude, you're a gold, this is a gold star situation here. Like, that's a big deal. And she was like, she's like, yeah, it's like, it's 17 years ago. It's like a lifetime ago now. And I'm like, I get that, but that's still, that's something that is very unique. So you hear all of these different stories and all of the different ways that people got there and serve our great nation. And I just, like, every time I do this, I'm just like overwhelmed because they're so grateful that we're there. But the same sense, I'm like, dude, you've lived, there's people that have lived here on this, it's got a 42-mile perimeter, and about a third of the base is the bay. Like, you're living in Cuba. You cannot leave this place. And some people have been here for 2.5, 3 years. And so, like, gratitude that I have for them, and like that we all should have for them surrounding the Super Bowl and everything else is, man, it's pretty exciting. And so tonight is the Super Bowl. We're shooting this on Sunday. And so, like, my favorite thing is we have the watch party where we sit there, and she's like, it's a lot of young dudes, man. And they're like, we have drinks with you? I'm like, yeah, we can have drinks.
Yeah.
And if those dudes, like, I've always told them, my rule is I don't turn down drinks and shots from servicemen and women. Like, that's not what you do. Last night we were doing an appearance. I'm like, they don't really want drinks around us with like the backdrop and everything. So I go, just wait till we're done. But I'm like, if you want to do a drink with me and you think that that's something that is going to be cool, like, well, who am I to tell you no? So it's
Doing your
usually
part, Bob. Doing your part.
doing my part to help the troops, whatever that means. And
Charge it to winning, man. Charge it to winning.
you do. And oh my gosh, dude, it's traumatic because you forget how young the military is. Like I talked to some older dudes, but a lot of the majority of it, I mean, it's like 25 and younger. And I look at it, I'm like, gosh, that was me at one point in time in my life, and now it's not. So what else you got, Schlags? We got Lathan going to join us here.
Lathan's joining us. Hey, I'll tell you the chaos that is my week because I flew back to Jacksonville.
I thought you were in Jacksonville. You went to Columbus?
Well, I did. Now I'm in Columbus now. So I flew down to Jacksonville. I was there all week. We had 2 preseason baseball games. My daughter had cheer nationals, but like cheer nationals, it's in Orlando. First off, Orlando's terrible. God bless everybody who lives in Orlando. So much traffic, so hot. Disney is not magical. It's just crowded. But it is. I guess you got to go one time. I get it. But so they went down like Wednesday, and their event doesn't start till Friday. So they're just down there, just dropping all sorts of cash. Steph's down there with them. I'm running kids back and forth to like different games, Sam to wrestling, whatever. It's just dad and the boys doing all that kind of stuff.
Sam wrestles?
Yeah, Sam wrestles.
Nice.
Yeah. He just training. So so then Friday, Steph's father-in-law and her mom, or Steph's dad and her mom were in town. So Deborah went down to the cheer deal, and it was also her 70th birthday. So we celebrated that.
Yeah.
And then Ricky and I stayed, and then we drove down Friday, watched her perform. I mean, honestly, it's like $50 a ticket. And for like 3 minutes of work. Oh yeah, 100%. $50 a ticket for 3 minutes of work. And I mean, she's on the game day and she's on the varsity. What's that? Yeah. Charge it to win it. It's okay.
3 minutes, that'd be a long duration.
Yeah. Well, it's 90 seconds a thing. So she's on the game day team, which is like the raw, like CREA, Kia, Creekside, whatever, CHS, and you're in there, like you gotta yell too as a cheer dad. Like you gotta yell with them. Like you gotta hype it up to make it sound more, I guess, and I'm just going with the flow. I'm yelling. And then she had the varsity one. That's where all the stunting and tumbling and all that stuff. And then both of her teams made it to the second day. So then I'm like, well, let me know, because I got to fly out because, it's Sunday I trained the Fury. The Fury got their first dub. All right, awesome. And they've been doing great. Like they're not great on the win-loss column, but they got their first win. They've had a bunch of games where they went to 5 sets. They're starting to figure it out. Really young team, great women. Love working with them. Trained them this morning. So I had to get back for that. But then they went to the second day and they didn't make it to the third day, which would have been today. So they drove back. Anyways, that is my life. I got in last night, went to the farm, did some stuff, woke up this morning, trained a bunch of alpha females, and now I'm talking with you.
Oof, David Copperfield, man. That's great. I've been to Disney once. My wife took my son again this year, so she's been twice. I guess I went as a child too. But the kids go, it's crazy overpriced. When I was working with ESPN, and I go, I spent way too much money, and we had free gate passes and 50% off everything. I go, I don't know how people do this. I'm like, I felt when I went there, like I leaned down, I just laid down on a bed, Schlags, and they flipped out a switchblade and cut my kidney out, and they stitched it up. I'm like, all right, there you go. Take some antibiotics. Charge it to winning, because that's essentially what you feel like you're doing. So it was it was wild, but I'm glad they got to do it. It's not magical. Your kids are a little older now. We also had this, well, here we got Lathan here in the queue. So we got him coming up after this. I don't want to keep him waiting because he's got a busy schedule. Talk about what's going on with him, his favorite parts of the Super Bowl, favorite Super Bowl memories growing up, all those different things. We'll get all that coming up here with Lathan Ransom. Before we get to that, I want to tell you about our friends over at Export. Attention, parents and athletes. Protect what matters most with Export mouthguards, trusted by professional athletes and designed by NHL team dentists. Export mouthguards are scientifically tested to absorb high-impact hits, protecting both your teeth and your brain. Export mouthguards feature 3 layers of advanced protection, including patented use of carbon fiber. Custom fit your own 3D, that unique smile you have, fitting in there for more protection, better performance, max comfort, clear communication, so you can focus on your game, not on your gear. Do not take chances with your safety. Go visit our friends at exportguards.com/Bobby. Save 15% on your order. Export, protect what matters most. Lathan Ransom coming up next. All right, welcome back into the Bobby Carpenter Show, and we got our guy Lathan.
There he is. Look at him.
There's Lathan. He's from a hotel. I'm from a hotel. Schlegs, you're in the office. Lathan, how was that kind of first initial weeks of training, like getting your body back into the grind again?
Yeah, it was definitely had to get used to it. I haven't really lifted as heavy I was lifting in a while. Doing my legs are extremely sore. A lot more running than I'm used to doing because it's just a lot of sprinting, a lot of as fast as you can go. And in football, I mean, if I'm a safety running as fast as I can go, it's normally either I got a pick six or something bad happens. So not that many times I've been doing that, but it's been a lot of fun, man. Got to meet a lot of new guys, and it's been nice to be out here in some hot weather.
Lathan, let's talk about you in this combine. So, I mean, again, everything that you did for yourself, being able to play 16 games this season, working with Stu, all those things, Coach Mick in the training, how has that set you up for success now that you're getting prepared for this combine?
Great, man. I mean, I'm a dude that really be strict to my schedule, so I'm still waking up extremely early, still living in the treatment room, doing all my rehab and in the cold tub and a hot tub, doing everything I can. And then, I mean, I'm continuing to, meet with coaches that coach me at Ohio State to, go over film, get everything right to where I'm able to talk about, what the D-line's doing, what the linebackers are doing, what offenses might be attacking in certain situations. So doing everything that, man, my schedule's really stayed the same, except now it's up to me. There's not someone asking me to meet at a certain time or someone telling me when to go through walkthroughs. It's all up to myself. But I feel like I did a good job preparing myself throughout the season to do this. So I'm excited to be doing it now.
So what, this is the first year, Lathan, probably in your career where you're actually coming off of a season where you're not rehabbing something. I mean, I know there's stuff you're trying to get healthy and you played a crap ton of games and you always got stuff that you're working with, but how has that been? The fact that you're not there, like literally micro focusing on one injury that you having to recover from.
Yeah, it feels good, man. I mean, it feels good. Like you said, I think that you should always be trying to do rehab or always be trying to do something, to get your body better. I always, like we talked about before, I laugh at, when I was a freshman and I would just go to practice and then go straight home. Like, I can't believe I was able to do stuff like that. But now, I mean, I'm the guy that's in the treatment room the most, trying to meet and watch, whether it's working on drills or just a dude that's just trying to be a sponge, man, because like you said, I feel like I did a great job this season, setting myself up for this next journey, but it doesn't stop there. Like, I still have to continue to outwork people and continue to do everything I can, to best position myself.
As the combine goes on, it's really a thumbs up, thumbs neutral, thumbs down. And meaning thumbs neutral, it's like watch more tape, in my honest opinion. What are some of the areas that you feel that you're going to be really successful at, and what are some of the things that you want to work on during this combine prep?
Yeah, I feel like something special about me, and I'm confident, is I'm just a good football player. A dude that goes out there, might not be the biggest, might not be the fastest, but I stand out on tape every time you turn on the tape. Whether it's, I think got the fastest game speed. Me or Caleb got the fastest game speed on the whole team. When you look at the tape, there's not dudes that fly around to the ball faster, make plays. A great leader, a great communicator, and someone that just wants to compete in everything he does, and a perfectionist. Someone that's insanely into I'm watching film until I get this exact step right or get this exact play right. And and this plays I can continue to get better at is learning more as much as the game as I can learn. I think that's something that you can always improve at, and it's something that could continue to make your game speed faster. And then, I think that's just something I want to improve at. And then also learning as many schemes as I can learn, because you never know what team you're going to end up on. You never know what scheme you're going to run, but I just want to be best prepared for any situation. So this has been an exciting opportunity for me, though, man. It's just, I was funny. I called Tommy the other day, and you know how Tommy is. He's a guy that's like, man, you hear so many guys talk about, man, I did not like the combine or I did not like the prep, but he's a dude that's, man, I loved it. It was just football every day, and that's the perspective I'm going in with, man. As much football as I can learn, because ain't nothing more than I love than football.
It's true, and it's all focus. And we'll get into some of the other stuff that comes on, because you can only physically do so much, so then the mental part comes into it. But like you said, the one thing here is, like, you've always been training with the team. Now you're with a group of guys, but it's guys that you don't know. First of all, like, is there anyone from Ohio State that you're training with? And then also, like, maybe some of the other guys that are there, is there anybody you've been hitting it off with that you've been going back and forth with, that trying to recreate some of that competitive energy that maybe you'd normally have?
Yeah, so there's no one from Ohio State that's training here with me. There's people at the facilities I'm at, like I think Josh Fryer's out in the same place I'm at, but in Fort Myers. But no, I mean, I mean, I'm a dude that, when I first get here, I try to look at the guys who are the most competitive or maybe doing the best in some of the drills and stuff that I'm trying to compete in, and then compete against them or make sure I go against them in everything that we're doing. And yeah, there's a DB here from Kansas State who's really fast, jumps really high, so I try to compete against him in a lot of stuff. There's a linebacker here from Texas who's extremely explosive. A lot of stuff he does, so I try to compete with him. But yeah, in everything we do, man, I'm trying to compete and be that annoying guy. So that's what I'm trying to do, and I feel like that's what I do best.
Well, let's go to this. It's Super Bowl, man. It's Sunday. Tell me about the Super Bowl plans that you have tonight down there with the boys. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, so it's funny. I went to First Watch this morning. I was just going by myself, and then I see some of them there, so I got to eat with them and stuff. And at first, I was planning on if they weren't planning on doing anything, I was gonna watch it at home. But I think they might go to like a little restaurant and watch it. So I'll probably go there with there. But I mean, I'm excited, man. I can't wait to watch this rematch. A lot of great players, and then being a guy that plays a lot of ball, I watch it from a different perspective. So I like to watch a lot of what the defense is doing and how the DBs are playing, man. And this is at the highest level. So I can't wait to watch good football tonight.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. I want to ask some more about Lathan, his Super Bowl experiences, what he liked, what he didn't like, his stuff growing up, and a little more training and the future of what he sees. All that here coming up next on the Bobby Carpenter Show. All right, welcome back in the show. Still here with our guy, Lathan Ransom. It's Sunday, shooting this early and, talking about his Super Bowl plans, going to go out and watching. Lathan, do you have any fond memories? Or what are your memories of the Super Bowl growing up? What did you do around it? I mean, you've always been a big football guy. I think you said your mom was a baseball guy. What did you kind of do? Was it the same thing every year, or did you have these different memories or different stuff that you've done?
Yeah, so I got a couple different memories. I think just depending on the year and the situation, we'd either go watch it at like a family friend's house or people would come over to our house. And I think the first memory I have from the Super Bowl is I wasn't really an Arizona Cardinals fan growing up, but I do remember watching when they lost to the Steelers, and that throw in the back of the end zone was crazy, and I remember that. And then another one.
Hold up. You know who caught that, don't you?
It's Antonio Holmes, wasn't it?
Thank you. Okay, good. I'm just making sure.
Buckeye.
He's a Buckeye. He's Slake's in his age, man. We got to make sure that the Super Bowl MVP, we're going to give him some props since he's a Buckeye now.
That catch was amazing. I remember that very vaguely. I was very young, so honestly, the only reason I know that from watching highlights and stuff. And then the one I remember actually watching and kind of understanding a little bit was when the Broncos played the Seahawks, and seeing that defense play. And what they did, to Peyton, that was a crazy memory, and I never thought the game was gonna go like that. So that one I definitely remember. I'm trying to think. And then growing up, I was a big 49ers fan. So when they played the Ravens in the Super Bowl, I remember that game and when the lights went out. And it's funny, actually, I remember being like a little kid, and when the 49ers were losing, it hurt me to watch that. So I remember I actually went and started playing outside, I think, with my friends, and then they came back. And then my dad's over here yelling at me, come on, they're coming back. So I remember, that game. Oh, yeah, obviously I remember, the Patriots, when they came back against the Falcons. I think I switched it to something else for them to come back, man. That's still insane to this day, to think about that. And then, those are really the biggest, Super Bowl memories that I can think of.
Man, you won a national championship. As you're sitting here, think about this. You're getting ready for the combine to go make an NFL journey. You could be on one of these teams that are in there next year. How exciting is that? Just, a lot of people don't understand, right? It's Ohio State, and a lot of fans are still thinking about Ohio State and Poof David Copperfield. You're on to the next. You're getting prepared to go put your best foot forward to go get in the NFL, to where you next year at this time could be potentially playing for a Super Bowl yourself. How surreal is that right now in the midst of your life and everything that's transpired?
Extremely surreal. I think the best example of that is Jackson actually played in the Pro Bowl out here in Orlando, so I had the opportunity to go check that out and watch that, and just going to see there and just seeing all the dudes that I played on Madden and watched growing up, and all those superstars out in that field, man. It was a moment. I just sat there wow, I'm finally at the point where I'm going to be playing against these guys. I'm going to be playing guarding George Kittle. I'm going to be hopefully getting to see Buda Baker play with Buda Baker, and just dudes I looked up to, man. That was a pretty cool moment. And then it's funny, I kind of, the competitor in me clicked in, and then now I want to go play against these guys and go dominate, hopefully, against a lot of these guys. So that was a pretty cool moment, to see that. And then just talk to Jackson, just be like, man, you really laid the blueprint, man. Like you and CJ and Rocket and Zach are all guys that motivated me throughout the season to get to this point and get to play, play against them or play with them. So, man, it's been a great experience, and I can't wait, for this journey to continue.
What what this combine, you're talking about, it's all ball, combine training, everything else. But, you get some time at night. I mean, what have we been doing with the free time at this point, Lathan? I know you want to stay focused up, but, there's not a whole lot of like film to really watch. I mean, you can study stuff so much, but you're a pretty smart guy and you played 5 years in college. So what are we spending some of this free time on? What are we watching? What are we getting into?
So I really need a new show to watch right now. I turned on Suits a little bit. I was kind of feeling it, kind of not feeling it. I've been playing a lot of video games. It's funny, the Wi-Fi, I was lagging a lot when I first got here, and it was driving me crazy. So I went and bought an Ethernet cord, and there's cords stretched out throughout this apartment I'm at just so I can play the game, man. So nothing really. I've been playing the game a lot. That's it. Nothing else I really get into. I've been going to sleep really early every night, getting up early. So a lot of the same stuff I was doing when I was at Ohio State.
So we talked to Seth McLaughlin about that, and Seth's like, yeah, I've been playing way too much video games. Like my girlfriend's gonna lose her mind. I mean, does Viv say anything about you when you're just out there hitting the sticks all day? I mean, not being productive at all?
Oh, no, she doesn't. She's back at home, so I'm out here just focusing. And now I can play as much video games as I want. So, it's been a lot of fun, and I've been enjoying it out here.
That's awesome. Hey, so what do you have tonight? Like, let's talk about this game. So you got the Chiefs, 15-2. You got the Eagles. You got a lot of great dudes. You got a team in the Chiefs going for a three-peat. You got the Eagles and Saquon and Jalen Hurts and everything they've done. You got two great defenses. Like, tonight in this game, what are you watching, and who do you think is going to come out victorious?
I'm watching how these defenses prepare for, such explosive and powerful offenses. I mean, you're facing arguably the two best quarterbacks in the NFL. You're facing two great receiving cores, the best running back that in the NFL this year. So I'm seeing how them defenses are going against them, how these dudes are tackling the open field. Them little things is what matter, them open field tackles, them hitting yardage. So I'm watching that. I'm watching how these coaches are scheming each other up on the offenses and giving these offenses different looks, the disguises. I know Kansas City does a great job with disguises, and so do the Eagles. So I'm excited to watch that. And then, man, I'm tired of seeing the Chiefs win, but I mean, it's hard to beat them, man. It's if I was a betting guy, I wouldn't bet against Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. So, but no, I'm excited, man. I want to see a game that goes to the fourth quarter. Hopefully, get an overtime. I'm trying to see just a great game.
What's interesting is you start talking, scheme stuff, and I was with Spags briefly, and your guy Walt, he was with Spags too, and like seeing that defense that Kansas City plays. When you watch these games now, like you're moving to the next level, and like seeing the scheme and some of the safety stuff and what goes on. Like, how much do you lean in and try to figure out, what these guys have been doing here through the playoffs?
Oh, most definitely. I try to watch that as much as I can.
Absolutely. All right. Well, we appreciate some time, dude. Hopefully we'll keep catching up on Sundays, and it'll be a good chance to kind of follow you through this whole process, sir. So you enjoy it and have a good time tonight. We'll catch up soon.
Thank you. I'm gonna get that Wi-Fi fixed. Don't worry.
All right, that's our guy, Lathan Ransom. He said the Wi-Fi wasn't good. He's got the Ethernet, so we're gonna have to figure that out for him as we try to catch up and figure that. Go through those things. But it's interesting, like you see guys that have coached other places, and I would like to probably have a bigger conversation with him, like about Tim Walton, OG, because he was in that system. Spags' system is very unique. James was in that for a long time, and just understanding what he's doing, how he's trying to attack things, and he's an ultra aggressive guy, and so it should be a fun Super Bowl for sure.
The thing that I loved about what Lathan all talked about is. And this doesn't happen everywhere, guys. I'm just letting you know. The football acumen, the football IQ that Lathan Ransom has acquired over his years at Ohio State is pretty impressive. And the fact that you had a young guy, 22 years old, hell, he might be 23, I don't know. But like what he's into right now in his life is 100% ball. Like he's just talking about, I want to watch how these guys are scheming up. I want to look for the hidden yardages. I want to look for how these guys make open field tackles, because ultimately, what are you doing, man? Like that guy right now, he's comparing himself to who's in the league playing in the biggest game of the season. Like that's what you do at this level, and like how he's trying to find other guys to push him and compete against. I love it, man. Like that's that is what you call developed. That's developed here. Now he's going to have to take the next step and continue to work on that development. But when you're able to for all Bob, you and I, like we don't watch games the same. Like we're watching those things. It's not just we're watching who made the tackle and how many yards they got. We're looking at the why. It never leaves you, but it's just fun to hear a young person like that articulate how invested they are in the sport and how much they love their craft.
How much they love ball, man. Well, that's what we're all about, Schlegs, with all of that here. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We got our headlines coming up. Some sad news, obviously, with the passing of a legend in the NFL and someone tied to the founding of the NFL. And then also some tweet that I saw about Spags that really kind of hurt my heart and brought up some memories that weren't the fondest, Schlegs. And we'll see how that plays out here in the Super Bowl as well. All that coming up here next on the Bobby Carpenter Show. All right, welcome back to the Bobby Carpenter Show. Now we got our headlines. And listen, folks, we appreciate you hanging in here with us. But like, subscribe, leave your comments. We'll be going live a lot. Today is obviously recorded, but we love it. So leave comments when you watch it, whenever. Hop in the chat. It's always a good time with that. But I want to throw up the tweet about Spags and his defense and what they've been about, Schlegs.
You know about this
one.
one.
The man Paul Hembekides, also known as Hembo, says Spags has allowed a 100-yard rusher exactly once in his playoff career. That's over 24 games. So that's almost 2 full seasons in the NFL. That's a lot. It's like a season and 2/3. The only time that happened, Schlegs, was in 2007. My guy Marion Barber ran for 129 as the Giants, where Spags was the D coordinator, beat the Dallas Cowboys in the divisional round. We were the 1 seed. They were the 6. They ultimately went on to win the Super Bowl. Marion had a great day, and we had a great team. We just couldn't pull it out. And so that's the one anomaly, and we didn't win it. And so that makes me even more sad when I saw that.
Yeah. I mean, first off, guys, I think that, it's just different in college rushing the football than the NFL. And when you see that stat of just one time in 24 games, that's so impressive. But that's the matchup of this one. Honestly, it's the Kansas City defensive line coached by a Joe Cullen, D coordinator for the Jags when I was there, a Northeast guy. I mean, 2-time Super Bowl champion. What does that D line do against Saquon and the offensive line of the Philadelphia Eagles? That's really, really good. Like that, honestly, if you're watching a matchup, that's the matchup I'm watching tonight. Because again, when you're able to run the football, it sets everything else up. And we know how aggressive Spags will be. So, what has to transpire to do that, and who gets left open when you do have to stop the run? Can they handle it on the perimeter? But that's the matchup, man. It's the D-line of Kansas City versus the offensive line of Saquon Barkley of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, and Saquon's been really good. It's not just Schlegs. I don't even know if he'll have 100 rushing yards. He may have 80 on the ground and then another 50 through the air because he's so good in the pass game. And so,
yeah, really good.
Whether swings, screens, checkdowns, whatever it is, and even downfield routes, he's so stinking good at those. Absolutely tremendous. He's a difference maker. And I think, honestly, the best two players on the field are him and Pat Mahomes. The question will be, who's going to have the ball last? And it's real tough to bet against Andy Reid. I mean, I played against him a ton when he was in Philly, and he's been absolutely great since he's been in Kansas City. And the combination of him and Mahomes has been tremendous. Want to fast forward to this. This happened late last week. Virginia House McCaskey, owner of the Chicago Bears, living legend. I mean, her father, Papa Bear, George House, founder of the NFL. And she passed away. He was huge in the growth of the game. She ran the Bears. She kept it old school. They were classy. I mean, she was fiery, and she's everything like that you wanted. And to see her pass away, and the Patriots, they put out a great thing, Robert Kraft. I mean, just a lot of the owners really respected her because of her dad and what he did and his vision of growing the team's game, Schlegs. And so for us, when you hear the name George Halas, that's football royalty. It doesn't get a whole lot bigger than that.
Yeah, I mean, it's, when I think sometimes, we're so far removed now. I mean, because we've had so many different Super Bowls, right?
It's 90 something, man.
Yeah, I mean, but just think of the longevity of the NFL, and like, yes, it is like skyrocketed in the 2000s, but think about like like before there was
Hold on,
a
Schleich.
merger
She was
even.
100. She was 102. My bad.
That's
I
amazing.
shorter. I thought
That's
she was like
guess
mid
what?
90s.
Still deadlifting, by the way. I heard that. I saw that on a nugget. That was a different tweet. Still deadlifting. Grip strength. But that being said, just think about like how this all started. I mean, this is 25. So you said 102. So that's 1923, and I don't know, it could be 22, whatever. But like the start of the league, watching her dad do this, rally everybody around. Here's what the maturation of the game, the maturation of the NFL, the combination of the two leagues coming together. Boom, fast forward, what the trajectory of the 2000s and TVs and where the money is now compared to where it started. Like whoever would have thought of it, she was there for the entirety from the groundworks of her dad building this up, and then her also running the Chicago Bears. Big passing. But again, that's why Robert Kraft put this out because, what she said, she was always class personified. And you see that a lot with Sounders and visionaries that see things through, and obviously the House family did.
Absolutely. The best. And just tremendous organization. 102 years old, Schleich. So she was born in 19, like you said, 23. Saw a lot of things. I mean, Schleich, she was barely missed World War One. It was like a fully living adult during World War II. Unbelievable life. As we take an end to finish up our headlines, we've got our tailgate talk coming up next. And we got some great questions here, some great comments brought to you by Real Truck here coming up next. Now we are on to our tailgate talk brought to you by our friends at Real Truck. Go to realtruck.com. Bring your truck to life with all of the unbelievable features that they have there for your truck, your Jeep, your Bronco, the inside, the outside, from seat covers to bed covers, from Jeep tops to winches to coolers. They've got it all, folks. They can take care of you. And listen, Valentine's Day is just around the corner. And so if maybe the lovely missus wants to get, a new bumper for her Jeep or truck or Bronco, great. Maybe that guy that needs some new seat covers, or whether his hands get cold, wants a steering wheel cover. It's all there for you at realtruck.com. So go check them out and bring your truck to life. And when you spend $100, you get free shipping. It's what they do for you because they care about you just like we do. Realtruck.com. All right, Schlegs. We got some comments from our couple shows at the end of last week. We had Seth on, we had Hardsock on. We had some from Seth's show, and they were great from Thursday. And Parkinson 266, right at the top there, was dying when you guys were talking about Schlegs' vices. Some things never and shouldn't change, Schlegs. Thumbs up emoji, 100%. Thumbs up, 100%.
Yeah, loyalty and a grinder. Honestly, it's just like I actually had a buddy when I was down there, like, man, you look rough. I'm like, do I really? Because like I'm just in here just swinging and grinding, and I'm just trying to get better every single day, man. That's what we do. But I still bring it though. Like I absolutely melted faces off, got people better today. But if my biggest thing is this, I'm called to maximize people through authentic service, regardless of what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. I'm doing the exact right thing, So I'm gonna keep rolling with that. So I appreciate that statement.
Well, and then even this statement, Schlegs, from JB-U5R, Schlegs with his Michael Scott moment. Actually, my weaknesses are also my strengths, which I'm too loyal. I work too hard. Like those are what is your weaknesses? I mean, they're actually my strengths. I mean, Schlegs, when you were describing
that's not my strength. My strength, I think my strengths would be relationships and problem solving. And probably a weakness I should have mentioned. I have two weaknesses. Which a strength of mine being solutions for women. I want to solve problems, aka my wife. So I got to get better at listening and just being there to listen. Constantly working on it. It's all good. But the other one of I struggle. Bob, you and I are going on the Buckeye Cruise in about less than a month, T-minus a month. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I struggle on vacation mightily. because I don't know how to turn my brain off. But I do know this, my kryptonite for getting me, it's not kryptonite, but like the way that you get me into vacay mode, spicy margs. And that's it. That's the key. That's the key. I'll take them however you want them. I mean, I can go on a lunch date and get carne asada and have like 2 or 3 spicy margs. I feel like I'm on vacation already in Jacksonville. You know, why not? So I'm constantly working on those things. And I appreciate everybody for telling me, spelling that out, that my strengths are my weaknesses and vice versa.
It's great. Then one last one here from Will Star World from a couple of days ago. Bobby, can we get Coach James Laurinaitis on the podcast? I think James has been on here with us before a long time back.
A long time ago.
We're going to get him on. I'm going to try to get on our new coordinator, Brian.
We need to get him on too.
Yeah, we'll get Hart on. Well, I don't know if Ohio State, I haven't been following it, if they've actually issued the full statement where he is the official coordinator. I talked to him about it on Thursday, and it's like, let's just wait until we get it all done. And I think there'll be some resolutions on the defensive staff coming this week as well. And so we'll see that, and then James can pop on and we can get all that stuff figured out, him and Hart, and it'll be a lot of fun, man. It'll be good to see those guys, catch up with them, see what's going on as well. But we're going to put a pin in that, Schlegs, because the show is almost over. And I want to make sure we have plenty of time for you to get your parting thoughts in as you can educate the world as we wrap up the Bobby Carpenter Show. Before we get to your parting thoughts on Anthony Schlegel, Schlegs, I want to let you know my guy, my man, little Mr. Caleb, he finished second in his wrestling tournament. He made it all the way to the finals, and he was up 5-2 in the first, and then the second got a little squirrely, and he got reversed and they got takedown points on him. He ended up losing against the number 1 overall seed, and he gets salty when he loses. But my wife had to remind him going in, because he always gets seeded in the top bracket because these records are pretty good. And then it's tough for him to win it. But here you go, Schlegs. You finish it up.
No, I absolutely love that. And hey, guess what? Side nugget, Big Play has a Super Bowl commercial. So that's interesting. That's some big time money right there, Big Play. I see you guys. We see you here at the Bobby Carpenter Show. So here's the deal. Silver Bulletin put this out. After signing his new contract, Ryan Day made a $1 million donation to mental health programs at the Ohio State University Med Center. He's been a champion for mental health awareness after losing his father many years ago. They said a true leader and representative of the university. His wife, Anita Day, is something that they've been involved in. But, I mean, and guys, it's not like this is the first time that he's done that. He's already donated millions of dollars of his own money previously. A lot of charity foundations, a lot of work, a lot of fundraisers that they do on the side. Like people, it's not about just giving the time or the money. It's also about giving of their time and their family's time, and how they're championing for mental health awareness throughout Central Ohio and Ohio in general. Again, classy move by Ryan Day and his family, because all these things are family oriented, and how he's trying to teach his kids how you pay it forward. Just like Woody Hayes always says, you win with people, and Ryan Day's one of the best. He is, and it's awesome to see that. And, you see a guy get a big contract, Schlegs, and it's always, you look at the biblical element, like your first and your best, like yes, first thing he's doing right there, paying it forward, trying to help other people and improve their lives. That's part of the reason he goes on the Buckeye Cruise. They raise money for cancer, but also some goes to his foundation. He's super engaged and involved in it. Just so happy for him to win that title and to get everything that comes from people in this world, man. Deserving ain't got nothing to do with it, but some people deserve some pretty great things, and as Ryan does. And so happy for him. Excited to spend some time with him on the cruise and catch up. That's it for today's show. We will catch up with you tomorrow. I think we should be able to have Bill Bender on, do a lot of Super Bowl breakdown stuff as well. Thank you for tuning in to this edition of the Bobby Carpenter Show.